Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah. I am claiming today that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadyani accused Isa alayhi salam of being a drunkard. Okay, this is the first point I want to raise and see how Razi specifically responds to this. So we will discuss, the first thing we will discuss is his drunkenness. And Razi will come back and say, no, this was ilzami jawab, accusative answer to Christians. But Mirza is talking to Muslims. When he's saying Jesus was a drunkard, why is he telling the Muslims that? For example, okay, we have this quote, okay, from, what's the reference for this? Kishtianu, okay? Yeah, the top of the page, okay. The reference is, Mirza says, यूरोप के लोगों को जिस कदर शराब ने नुकसान पहुंचाया है, इसका सबब तो ये था कि ईसा अलैहिस्सलाम शराब पिया करते थे, शायद किसी बीमारी की वजह से या पुरानी आदत की वजह से, मगर ऐ मुसलमानों. So what Mirza is saying, the Europeans are drunkards because Jesus used to drink. And this was perhaps, this cannot be ilzami jawab because he's saying perhaps. This is perhaps. Ilzami jawab cannot be perhaps. You quote and you say this is where it is. Okay. Perhaps this was due to an old illness or an old habit. O Muslims, magar ay Muslimano, tumhare Nabi alayhi salam हर एक नशा से पाक और मासूम थे. Your prophet was pure of any intoxication, okay, and he was innocent. कि वो फिल हकीकत मासूम है, सो तुम मुसलमान कहलाकर किसकी पैरवी करते हो? कुरान इंजील की तरह शराब को हलाल नहीं ठहराता, फिर तुम किस दस्तावेज से शराब को हलाल ठहराते हो? So O Muslims, why do you believe that sharab, wine is halal while Quran forbids it? It's not like the Injil. Okay, so he's talking to the Muslims, telling them that Isa alayhi salam was drunkard, and perhaps it was due to
2 minute 30 you talk, 2 minute 15.
Yeah. Perhaps it was due to a habit or an illness, which, and the Bible doesn't say that. This cannot be ilzami jawab. Bible doesn't say Jesus was drinking because of an illness or an old habit. There you go. Response.
Exactly.
2 minutes 45 seconds.
Okay.
No
so
problem.
the first thing is he quoted Kishtinu out of context. He has to remember Hazrat Ahmad al-Asam is showing the Muslims that look how great Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is, and their audience of Kishtinu were also Christians, and he hid this from the viewers. You know, Hazrat Ahmad al-Asam, wherever he shows that Nabi sallam against Isa of the Bible, he's showing the Muslims, look how great your prophet is, because some Muslims are saying Isa al-Asam also drank. Hazrat Ahmad al-Asam refuted them that look, even if Isa al-Asam drank perhaps because of an old habit or illness, your Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam never drank. This was showing the greatness of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, not the own view of Hazrat Ahmad al-Asam. In fact, the Christians of that time would give excuses because the Bible says he was a drunkard. So they would give excuses that look, no, our God, perhaps he was ill or he had a habit. Ilzami jawab includes deduction, and this is what he hid. And in his turn, I will make him read a poem of Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah, and he has to tell me if Christians actually say that stuff where it's in the Gospels. And look, he's laughing. Stop the time. Stop the time.
Continue. Your
From
time.
my side, you won't see any disrespect.
Because it was so funny.
And
that's
now
why
the laughing has started because he knows he's stuck.
Okay, you stop the time.
And you guys can keep laughing, but
Continue.
the haqq is clear.
Continue, yeah. Continue.
Now it's a usul of Sanaullah Amritsari that the Mufassir.
You started the time again.
Yes,
You give him an extra minute.
It's on, brother.
Okay,
it's
okay,
going.
sorry.
Again cutting off.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sanaullah Amritsari in his book Turk-e-Islam, he said Mufassir ki baatein wohi samjhayega. The statements of a Mufassir are explained best by himself. In Hazrat Ahmad al-Assam's books, I have tons of references. He says Isa al-Assam never went against the Torah. He was a follower of the Torah and one of the khadim of Musa al-Assam, and he made it clear that the Torah forbid Injil. In fact, in Malfuzat, there's a page where Hazrat Ahmad al-Assam quotes the book of Daniel, and he says Daniel never drank alcohol, and he said the doors of paradise are shut upon those who drink. Then he gives the example of Isa al-Assam, that he was a follower of the Torah and he never went against the Torah. In fact, he told his disciples to follow the Torah. So he did not believe Isa al-Assam drank. The reason he gave the Isai and Musalman that ilzami jawab because the Muslims were influenced by the Christians who used to say, you know, your book says this about Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Isa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, according to the Bible, he drank. Why can't you people drink? Why did Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam forbid it? To them, he said, look, Muslims, come to Rasulullah. That's the Messiah of the Bible. His writings are clear that Isa sallallahu alaihi wasallam never ever drank. Now he mentioned the Europe thing. That's ilzami jawab. Here I have Izalat-e Oham of Rahmatullah Kiranvi in Adnan's turn. He should read this. It says Hazrat Isa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Adnan Rashid said that you cannot, in Ilzami Jawab, give something that is not in their books. He said this in his own works. Look, we have time, brother.
Continue.
There's no point of cutting off.
Please continue.
Ilzami
Razi, don't do these.
Jawab has deduction as well. So in Adnan Rashid's turn, he has to read these hawale that I brought, and he has to tell me, is this Ilzami Jawab? And if so, why does it have deduction? I have a poem of Ibn Qayyim, and I have a fatwa of one of his Mujaddideen where he gives Ilzami Jawab. So you have to read this out in your turn. I'll give you extra time. Read both of this.
Okay, I'm not reading anything for you. You're going to have to read everything for yourself as your evidence in your time. That's not my responsibility. So, 1 second.
Yes.
So, okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. My time starts now. You can start now.
Just so I know, are you going to talk about his points or just me claim that?
He can say what he
Let him
wants
do what
as
he
long
wants.
as he sticks to
Can I
the
have the pen?
topic.
Can I have
Okay,
the pen?
he was on topic and he responded.
I'm going to
to-
start whenever you say.
Okay, so who's timing? How many? We're going to go 7 times. So, no, 7 times. We need to time it for 14 minutes, the whole thing.
Do the numbers?
So we did 2
So remember the
turns.
numbers. No, we've
One
done
each,
2
one-
each,
one
one
each,
each,
one each.
one each. We've done 1 each, so he has to go on for 7 times. Okay, 7
You
each.
did once and once.
Okay, you can start my time now. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So if you read this page, Kashti-e-Nuh, page 71, Ruhani Khazain, volume 19, okay, page 71. Ruhani Khazain, volume 19, page 71. The page is talking to Muslims. Mirza is talking to Muslims. And what does he say? Okay, और आखरत का अजाब अलग है. For example, from the 3rd line on top, परहेजगार इंसान बन जाओ, तुम्हारी उम्रें ज्यादा हों और तुम खुदा से बरकत पाओ. He's talking to Muslims. He's talking to Muslims. And then he goes on to say that शायद किसी बीमारी की वजह से, this is not in the Bible, या पुरानी आदत की वजह से, or due to a bad old habit. So Jesus used to drink, perhaps due to an old habit or due to an illness. Shayad means perhaps. Perhaps means it's not in the Bible. So this is Mirza stating his own belief. This is not Ilzami Jawab to Christians. And then he goes on to say, Magar eh Musalmano, तुम्हारे नबी अलैहि सलाम तो मासूम थे, वो नशा नहीं करते थे. ठीक है? So he's saying to the Muslims that Jesus used to drink, the Europeans are drunkards because Jesus used to drink. And your prophet never drank, so you should not drink. So he's insulting Isa alayhi salam, which is kufr akbar. This is one of the reasons we believe Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadyani was a disbeliever, because of denying the Quran. Quran is talking about Jesus as a righteous prophet of Allah. So all these things he read are irrelevant. Kairanavi and all of the scholars, okay, they are irrelevant to the point. I'm making a very specific point. Mirza is talking to Muslims, and when you're talking to Muslims, this is not an accusative answer to Christians. This is talking to Muslims. When he's talking to Muslims, imagine if I stood on the member on Jummah and said, guys, Jesus used to drink, but you shouldn't drink because Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam never drank. They will. At least I'll get some beats. I'll get some beatings, okay, before I come down the member. Okay.